we are back with this shell of a system. If you're wondering what this is and you can't read the video title for one reason or another, yes, it's upside down. No, I don't really care. It's labeled as a Dell OmniPlex 590, but as we found out in the previous video, this is a Dell OmniPlex 466. Now, when you watch this video, you'll of course have already seen the first video of this machine. You will have also seen a Windows 95 30-year anniversary video featuring this machine. Reverse the order of the Windows 95 video and this video in your mind, and you will have the order right. Because I can guarantee you that the Windows 95 video is going to come out before this video, and I can just about guarantee you that it's going to come out before even the first video of this machine. But the fact of the matter is, I got to get this thing to actually work before I can install Windows 95 on it. So that's why we're here. We're going to try and get this thing to function. So, a couple of things. Number one, what I'm going to do, because I've learned some things about this. It has a SCSI controller. I'm debating whether or not to leave that in there. I probably will leave that in there. I'm not really sure how you'd get the cable to go over to where the drive needs to be, but we'll pretend that that's not an issue because it's not for the sake of anything that I am going to do. So I'm going to ignore that. This down here that you can't see, and this camera has no video light. I don't know why the... whatever. That I thought was a DCA Armatrack 16.4 token ring adapter flip card, ISA and microchannel. This is ISA and microchannel flip card, but it is not a 16.4 token ring adapter. This is a 3270 connection card, which is an incredibly useless device in this day and age, or an IUD. And yes, that is a very intentional acronym that I just came up with on the spot, and someone is probably going to yell at me in the comments for such a crude expression, but guess what? It's my video, so get off my lawn. I'm going to yank that, because there's no reason for that to be in here. It's of no benefit to me, and I don't need it, so why would I have it? So I'm going to pull it. So that's going to happen. I'm going to put a hard drive in here. Now, I don't know what I need to put in here in terms of a hard drive, because I don't know what the original hard drive size happens to be. This is a Quantum Blow Drive LPS. Yes, it's what I said, and it's what I meant. And the problem with these drives is they have rubber in them. There's a rubber stopper that prevents the head from banging up against the side of the drive. What happens, of course, rubber degrades into gooey mess when it gets old, and that rubber gets all over everything, including the disk head, and busts the entire drive. That is probably what has happened here. I may take it apart and we may take a look at what's going on inside it, but I don't think the drive is ever going to work again, and it's just a Quantum Pro drive, so I don't really care for it to ever work again anyway. Would it be nice? Do I kind of want to know what's on the drive? Yes, but I don't care enough. The problem, I don't know what this is, because these Quantum drives don't actually say what they are on them. There was a sticker there at one point. I guess that probably said what it was. Sometimes they'll have like a 210 AT or a 1280 AT or whatever sticker, and that's probably what that thing right there with the barcode is. But I don't know, and I'm not going to know until I get this drive out of here. Actually, hold on a minute. I just lied to you because I see something poking out in the machine. Alright, so now we know what the drive was. So it's going to get a similarly sized drive. Now, what does similarly sized mean? Well, I have a 210 megabyte Western Digital Caviar sitting over on the other side of the room there. In fact, it's sitting right there. And I'm going to start with that. So that's how we're going to do this. Now, some people are probably going to shout at me and say, well, why don't you just put a CF card adapter in this? There's a time and a place for that. That time and place is not right now. I think that that is a poor solution to a problem that doesn't exist. IDE drives are all over the place, and small capacity IDE drives are all over the place that still work just fine. And you're not going to use the machine all the time, so there's no real need for that kind of thing. If I were going to use this as a day-to-day machine for vintage computing or gaming or anything, yeah, I'd put a CF card adapter in here because I'm using it constantly, and having to replace the failed drive would be kind of a pain, right? But this is a machine that I'm going to set it up in this video. I've already done the Windows 95 video, and then from there it is going to sit in storage and be a shelf queen for I don't even know how long. It's not worth throwing a CF card adapter in there and spending the money to throw a CF card adapter in here. So spinning rest it is. It's just fine for this application. I'm going to change out this drive, and we're going to power it on and see what happens. I should probably replace the battery in this, wherever that happens to be. It's up at the front here. I don't think I have a AA holder sitting around, but I might. Maybe I'll go ahead and look and see if I can replace that clock battery, because I believe that's a 4.5 volt alkaline pack. Okay, so it's now out. It's a very light disc. Can't be a whole lot of platters in there. And indeed, that's what that sticker says. 270 megabyte AT attachment interface, or IDE. So, that's junk. And could I fix it? Yes. Is the new drive a little bit smaller? Yes. Do I care? No, not really. 210 should be more than enough for Windows 95. I think you can get, excuse me, you can get 95 onto a 120 megabyte drive. You wouldn't like that experience, but you can do it. So 210 should be enough. Now, I don't know if this machine really came with 95. I don't think it's really designed for 95. Could put a fan in the front. That's almost tempting to do, but I don't think it's really designed for that. The drivers I was able to find online are for Windows 3.1. So it's possible this isn't going to keep 95, but for the time being it'll get 95 because, I mean, Windows 95 would have basically been right at home on a system like this. So that is what we're going to do. And in fact, in that video, it's going to end up getting installed on 2 different machines. We're going to do this one, and then I'm going to do another one. I have that sitting around somewhere. In fact, it's sitting out in my car right now. I have to go get it. Which is going to suck because it's snowing like hell outside right now, but oh well. Let me go ahead and button this thing up, put this back. Put this back, plug it in, and then we'll try and get the machine working. Hopefully that won't be too bad of an experience. Okay, this is an extremely haphazard setup right here, so I hope it doesn't explode, but I got the hard drive in, I replaced a missing screw, so now it's actually screwed into the machine, which is kind of nice. This is a little bit messed up, but oh well. I haven't pulled any of the cards out yet. I just want to see this thing work before I mess around with it too much. So, nope, hard drive seems like it works. 16 megs of RAM. Adaptec. No device. Really? Oh my god. Huh. Well, now it's trying to run the existing copy of Windows 95 that's on it. Go figure. So yeah, it is possible to put Windows 95 on this. Here's your LEDs. I wonder if it's running in slow mode right now. Whoops! Well, someone obviously was using drive compression. We'll see what happens, if it will continue to try and load. Or if we're just, nope, it's trying. I have no mouse hooked up because I wasn't expecting anything readable to be on that drive, to be honest. Yeah, did not attach a mouse, did not detect the mouse. There's no video, obviously. I don't know what this has for video. I should go look that up. Oops, Soundscape hardware is not responding. That makes sense because it probably doesn't exist. No idea what that is, but Windows 95 has got top-notch security. Actually, I'm curious. Yeah, there's a password, but doesn't matter. Your display adapter is not configured properly. Well, gee, I wonder why. That's not going to work, is it? Ooh, click here to begin. Microsoft Office. I missed that. Oh, does some of my keys not work? Does my tab key not work? No, the tab key definitely works. I can hear it clicking. By the way, if you have a keyboard that doesn't have a Windows key and you want to open up the menu, Control Escape will do it for you. But I can't get back to that, so what we're going to do is we're going to shut it down. I'm going to attach a mouse, and then we'll continue with this. I find it funny that's working because I don't think this is new enough to have auto detection of the hard drive, and the disk parameters are going to be different from the old drive, so that's kind of interesting. Here we go. F2 to run setup. Oh, it does have automatic detection. Okay. Well, so I think everything here actually might be fine. So I'm going to consider it. What version of the BIOS is this running? Auto adjust, please. A04. Wow, that's out of date. Oh, that is way out of date. I think there's like A13. Well, I'll go ahead and I'll exit that. And continue into Windows 95. I have a mouse plugged in now. I feel dirty using a compact mouse and a compact keyboard and an HP mouse on a Dell computer. So we'll see how far we can get with this. I'm going to erase it anyway because what's on it is probably useless. I have no idea what is and is not installed, or what it was used for. Okay, the mouse works. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine. I don't really care. We're half off the screen again. Display adapter is not configured properly. Well, I have no idea what the display adapter is, to be honest with you. It will do 800 by 600. I don't really care, so I'm just going to cancel that. Just want it to load so I can figure out what we have. Quality wall covering is what this registered to. I guess that's where the hard drive came from. 486 with 16 megs of RAM. No coprocessor. Huh. Is that an SX? I don't think so. Well, it's obviously not got Cirrus Logic video. Or a CD-ROM controller. The parallel port is screwed up. But everything else I think is pretty standard. Yeah, that's an ATI video controller, but I'm not sure which one it is. And that might matter. A couple of shared drives. Someone's name. 51 megabytes free. Along with a bunch of crap. I wonder if this had DOS in Windows 3.1 and was upgraded at some point. I don't really see anything interesting. Temporary files. viewer. Those are icons. Oh, there we go. Multimedia viewer. Yeah, that looks like a Windows 3.1 program. Unfortunately, there's not really a whole lot to look at because, and the reason why I say that is because they were probably doing most of their work on a network drive. I just opened the Windows folder. Oh dear. Do I want to know? Alice in Wonderland. Staring, of course, me and my best friend. Okay. There's a cast listing. Alright. Act 2. Again, a cast listing. Okay. Yeah, this I think was running 3.1, and I'll tell you why. Because this is here. What the heck? Maybe this wasn't 3.1. Maybe this was something older. Yeah, Argyle is not standard for Windows 95. Neither, I think, is Arcade. Well, that's a custom file. Questions have been asked and won't be answered. So there's a couple of custom files on here. I feel dirty going through someone's information. Biker cow. I imagine that would have been awesome with sound. I think it's a screensaver. Yeah, it's probably a screensaver. If I move the mouse, yeah, that's definitely a screensaver. So yeah, there's stuff on here. That's for sure. Check. WordPad. We are opening a file. Oh, they stored all their files in the Windows folder. That's classy. Okay. Well, I don't know how I'm going to get any of this crap off of here because it's only Indio. That's an Intel video format. Lose game. Maniac. Maniac. Why did I think Maniac? Jeez. It's not even that late. In fact, it's really quite early. It's like basically 5. And I'm already screwing everything up. Alright. Well, there might be some interesting things in here, but I'm not going to spend too much time going through everybody's stuff. Oh, jeez. No, I don't want you to do that. I'm going to open this, but I'm going to point the camera away. Oh, it's empty. It is an empty file. Is it an empty file? Maybe it's not an empty file, I don't know. That wasn't the one I wanted to open. But yeah, it looks like someone just had a bunch of fun drawing random crap in whatever it was they were drawing random crap in. He's welcome to Windows. Vid test. Yeah, I know it's not installed. So here again, I'll probably offload this stuff before I blow away this Windows installation, but this Windows installation is going to get blown away, so I'll figure out how I'm going to do that, and we'll see where we go from there. So I think that's pretty much it. Well, maybe not. You know what I'm going to do? I still want to boot this EISA Configuration Utility that I think goes to this machine. So I'm going to go ahead and insert this into the diskette drive, if it works. Hope the drive works. I'm going to reboot the machine. Okay, now we're trying floppy diskette read failure. Okay, maybe I'm remaking that. Maybe I'm remaking that diskette. Or maybe the drive is bad. Okay, so I have fought with this damn thing for the better part of the last probably at least half an hour, closer to an hour. And I've learned a couple of things. Number one, the floppy drive is junk and doesn't work. But number two, despite the fact that the README file it comes with says that the ECU is bootable, or implies anyway, put in your A drive and boot, it's not bootable. There is nothing bootable on that disk. And I went ahead and had a look. There is no command.com on that. I tried putting a command.com on that, but it didn't work because there's, obviously, I guess there's a special way you have to do it or whatever the hell. But no, that's not bootable. So that's good. I'm not going to use this floppy drive because it has no frickin' faceplate. And, I mean, maybe I could swap the faceplate off of that one. Let's see if this DOS disk actually works. This thing has booted. I did have this booting, and then I went to go and try and sys this disk and completely screwed it up. Yeah, here we go. Starting MS-DOS. My camera is about to run out of battery. That's genius. Good for you. Alright, this is a full setup, which I don't really want to run. So we'll exit, make sure it's in there, and then press F3. So let's pull this out, and let's try and run the ECU. Because there is something else. I have gotten this to work once. I've just been fighting with it, trying to get it to work more. We're going to get a list of all the exe files. What? .exe. Is there something wrong with this keyboard? Probably. Okay, so there's all the crap. What we want is sd.exe. Probably something diagnostics. The S doesn't stand for something, but self-diagnostics. Please insert the diskette labeled System Configuration into Drive A. That's what the disk is. Oh, what a piece of junk. Okay. Okay, take like 256 or whatever. F3. Setup disk 1 is still in the drive. F3. F3. Stupid. Okay. So, eject our boot disk. Insert the ECU disk. That, by the way, is the version C13 or something. The file was labeled C13. There's a C12 and a C13. There's also a lib file, which seems to hold all of the configuration files. So, you should be able to type SD. And this should work now. Alright. Dell computer, EISA version 2. Revision C13. Now, if you remember my HP Vectra EISA videos, this will look very familiar. So, configure computer. Let's see what happens when I do that. I might have to switch camcorders because this is supposed to be a charged battery and it says there's only 1 bar left. So that's high quality. I don't know what it's loading. It's probably loading configuration files. So let's see. Yeah, here it goes. Loading configuration files. I had the bread maker going. Man, that smells good. Maybe it's a good thing you guys don't have smell-o-vision because you'd probably want some. This diskette's supposed to be good, so that takes a long time to load. I don't remember the HP taking that long. Okay, configuration file error, syntax error. Alright, cool. That came right off the disk, so that's wonderful. It's either corrupted, Cannot continue the configuration without a system board file. Press enter to select a system board or escape. Okay, we'll press enter and see what we end up with. Reading directory. See if it finds it. Come on. How long does it take to get a directory listing? Wow, that's awful. Okay, what do we have? We have an OmniPlex 4XX system. Do we have any better listings? Okay. This is a 466, so it's either this one or this one. Now, I think it said this file had a syntax error in it, so we're going to select this one. System board ID mismatch. The hardware ID will be used. Okay. Keep going. I don't know if I have configuration files for all of the things that I've got in this system, to be brutally honest with you. But this is going to take like 5 billion years, so I'm going to go ahead and shut the camera off to preserve battery power, and I will come back. Oh, you're crap. Wow. So this, as it turns out, is kind of a pointless escapade. Look at that. So I'm going to have to do some work here and try and figure this out. Okay, so at this point it's asking for a file. Configuration file is needed and not on the diskette. So it's that configuration file. Insert the diskette and read drive A to, well, press enter to read A, press F7 to change drives, or escape to cancel. So I have a diskette with the file. So we're going to set the camera down. You're not going to be able to see what I'm doing, and that's fine. I'm going to eject the disk. I'm putting in the disk with the file, and we'll press enter. Let's see what it does. You just asked me to... You piece of crap. Alright. So I have now come to the conclusion that this is an extremely poorly designed EISA configuration utility. Why am I saying that? Why am I questioning the developers of this? So it's asking for a file, right? Insert the diskette containing the file and press enter to read the A drive. So I grab the diskette that has the file on it, I put it in the drive, I press the enter key, and it complains that the ECU diskette is not in drive A. So I put the ECU diskette in drive A, and guess what? It then asks me for exactly the same file. So fine. I took that file and put it on the ECU diskette. I would like to see you fail now. I dare you. I dare you to fail. Okay. What's it going to ask for now? Because it should ask for another file, because I've got 2 EISA cards in there. In fact, it should ask for 3 files. Because I do have another one. I have an EISA board in there. And I don't know what that EISA board is. So hopefully I don't have to find out. Or I can just skip over that board, because that board's going to be gone by the time I'm done anyway. So we'll give it another couple of years, and maybe we'll get somewhere. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to view details on this. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because I don't know what it's picked up. There should be 3 boards in the system, plus a system board. So for the most part, the system board should be pretty straightforward. Alright, EISA 1, 3COM 3C579. Alright. And then EISA 4. Yes, so these are the 2 EISA cards. It's an AdaptTech card here. So that should be good. there is no, notice, there is no entry for that 3270 card, which is good because I'm going to be pulling it out anyway. So we're done with that. We're going to examine required switches, which I'm just going to do for the sake of doing it. It's loading, it's loading, it's loading. This is a floppy drive, so you got to remember this is a slow process. I think there are some systems, and maybe even this is one of them, on which you could take the EISA Configuration Utility and put it on the hard drive. Sort of like a convenience partition. So, okay. I'm going to view them. You must physically verify them. Well, it should be set to on. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to say okay. So there's no jumpers on that. No card there, no card there. Adaptec. I don't think there's any on the Adaptec card. No, so it's configured entirely by the file. Alright, so we're done with that. We're going to save and exit. I'm going to save the configuration and restart the computer. Alright, so we'll let it do that. And we'll see if I broke the machine. So, okay. I hear the floppy drive. I still hear the floppy drive. I still hear the floppy drive. Like I said, there's a lot of things this utility does that could be done a lot faster. I don't know why this is so as slow as it is. The funny thing is, it looks like the same utility as the HP Vectra, but I remember the HP being a lot easier and a lot less stupid. I don't know. Maybe it's because it had a lot less files on the drive, because the ECU for the Dell comes with a whole bunch of configuration utilities and a whole bunch of system board files, in particular for a bunch of systems that are, well, not this. So it seems to me like it would have been far easier for Dell to just ship individual ECUs. And maybe they did when the machine was new, but of course it's not new anymore, so you gotta find the generic ones, I guess. I thought this would have rebooted by now. I don't know what's going on. Still reading the floppy. Yes, I know the power supply fan is bad. You can probably hear that. I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I guess I'm going to have to pull the power supply out and oil the fan or something. Like I said, I figured this would have been done by now. I don't know what's going on. This is up at 4 minutes. 5 minutes. 5-minute video clip, but nothing. Wow. Seems like a lot of my videos. In fact, I think a lot of my videos are just about nothing, but people like to see this kind of stuff. Or maybe they don't, actually. They generally like to see the penny and fork crap. And that's absolutely worthless, as opposed to this stuff, which has some kind of value. So I'm going to have to find a floppy drive for that. How difficult would this be to remove? I think I should be able to just pull it out like this. Yeah. And I think that should just be a standard floppy drive. There shouldn't be anything to that. Of course, how is it... Oh. Well, that's kind of a weird setup. But, okay. I'm still waiting for that to restart. So, you know what? I'm going to shut the camera off And if it does something cool... Oh, finally. Wow. If you need to install boards or change switches or jumpers on boards already, turn off your computer. If you want to test or install, press enter to restart, run the CFG again, and select the main menu item. If you're finished, remove it, and press enter to restart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut it down. I'm going to pull that 3270 card, and honestly, I think I'm probably done. You know what? I'm not even gonna show that on video. I think we're finished here. So everything should be done. Everything should be configured. Everything should be ready. This camera's almost out of battery anyway, so we're just gonna go ahead and shut her down. And I'll replace this floppy drive. But in the meantime, thank you for watching. And if you have any comments, feel free to leave them below.